But it's going to be Nuke here. That'll be the map that we're taking for our third of the day, back-to-back
players that can step up to the mark, and already Tabson being one of them is going to get that opening pick. Xantares about to be pressured, but
is the pressure, yeah, gonna really come through. It ends up backing off, so a little bit of breathing room for himself. And Sevilla is the one that gets his throat constricted at the hand of Cajun B. So one down for each side right now, and through the smoke, attempted pop onto the planter himself, but still gonna survive for this time being. A headshot onto Xantares, goes and cracks this wide open. Next with the follow-up, and Big are taking them out one by one. Tizian with that impact as well. Can Gade do it? Not quite. So Big with the defuse, and that's going to be their first round.
Yeah, the round sort of an advantage gained in the afterplant, and then the remaining three players just sweep the site. A strong flashbang to get them back in.
Is setting their eyes to see if there's any rotations and outside. And that's going to be one shot from Smooya, who is finally onto that op. It'll be interesting to see the op battle between these two teams.
Yeah, he's got it very early on and finding that initial pick, but he is going to be traded out, and it leaves the CT side with actually very little control on outside. It was sort of mentioned on the desk that he's going to be a bit more free-flowing, able to sort of take space, and you can see that on outside. He was completely alone, just looking to take the battle. It could also be down to weaponry. Nice push from Tabson, though. Only having an SMG can upgrade to the SG, gives them the man advantage back. The T's still with an awful lot of control, but it's more been given to them. Like, they left Smooya alone. The second he died, they just abandoned it. And now you can see Big just taking closer range positions to benefit their weaponry.
Very good reaction to the way that things started in the top of the round. And taking more to the CQB is effective because now it's just Gade. And he's sitting here at the top of ladder looking down to see if he can maybe get a pick in the process. It's the 4v1, and Tabson's been marked down low too. They're just going to try and keep their eyes, any potential movement, because they're feeling good and secure about their positioning at this time.
Yeah, there's so little time left for Gade to make a play. He might be able to get a bomb plan if they're just going to let him, but that's the only case. Like, they're just waiting patiently. Xantares, I thought he was going to get caught, but it seems like the ladder might be slightly denser on one side.
Just a tad, enough to keep him safe for now. Gade making his slow movement, but there you go. Tabson's able to clear that off, so no weapon held on the side of the T's.
It will be traded to make sure that they get the AWP onto Smooya once again, and we're going to have a similar scenario that we've already seen. Just a few pistols available. We're going to have a singular flashbang. It's not going to be anything too impressive.
All the difference in how cascades into the rest. Luckily, with the money being available for Big, too, they can still keep purchasing the rifles, keeping that up onto Smooya where he's most comfortable at this point in time. And on the side of North, they are able to get the Kriegs, they can get the AK, and then up for Hughie, who loves to pop that off, too.
I like the fact that from what we've seen so far, Smooya's being allowed to go wherever he fancies. He started with the AWP outside. This round, he actually heads into ramp. Now, maybe that's why they're actually going to go in that direction instead, but you can see that Xantares is going to be holding into secret, so they still have at least the information that they're not going to be going in this direction as of yet. And Xantares gets that timing absolutely perfect, just going to fall back. They've got a two-man advantage now, and still have vision from Tabson just in case they go for a wraparound.
With the time ticking down on the clock, 50 seconds to go. And another T falls. So it can be an Kirby. It's all on them. Tizian picks up another. And this is just looking better for Big. You still got a hold of everybody. You've got 5 remaining with all of the rifles. Still a utility to throw down if you wanted to use that just to try and get the final frag. But Kirby's also just taking to a bit more of a safety position to see if he can pick up a kill and get some money in the bank. Even hold on to that rifle, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that with the time being. Does pick one up and rotates away from red. Doesn't want to give away his positioning too much. The Big aren't being risky either.
No, they've got no real reason to face into him. Of course, it'd be nice to remove that weapon towards the end of the round, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them start facing a little bit, but considering that was a 4x Big, that was very, very easy. Like, they get the initial couple of picks, then they just play patient, and they've been winning every single duel so far. North have looked seriously underwhelming, and luckily for them, you can see this time, pace change. I like it. North gonna just try and burst outside, maybe get a quicker play towards the B site. It's only really been Xantares defending it in the previous round, and they're going to be just expecting that to be different this time. However, 2 players already down low. Tabson with a quick rotation. Smooya still checking, just in case there is anybody around the ramp. And they are going to now go fighting on that lower bomb site.
3 of them are moving in for that, and Tabson does find one before he ends up rotating back onto the site itself. With 1 taken away for North, they've still just got this 2 split and started to rotate over with AZ for some more of the support since they did lose 1 in the process. But Big don't have to make much of a change in what they're doing currently. They still have Smooya on the op that's kind of flexing between ramp room and being able to go onto the B site. Tabson is there as well if there ends up being a plant being made. Nothing connecting just yet, but there's no reason with still 45 seconds on the clock to really try and make any risky play just yet.
Smoke going to go down, which could allow for the bomb to cross if they really want to. Instead, it's going to be the push forward from Tabson just to make sure that they aren't able to get towards the site. 30 seconds left and still a fair amount of ground that North need to take. It almost seems like they might just be trying to force some rotations away, but they're still firmly dedicated in towards this B site. Smooya holding on the cross with the AWP and pretty much the full defense now here. Missed a couple of shots though, actually gives some space over and 2 kills actually come back the other way. This is looking much better now for North.
It is indeed. They really managed to clear that out. Take them off the top platform and Kirby gets one onto Xantares. So Smooya, not much you can do when there's 3 nearly fully helpful on the T side to try and defend this. More strength towards the latter portion as you kind of ramp into it.
Well, I think as well, just like bursting into the B side, they won every...
As soon as he hears some footsteps, but North are just going to bide their time and wait because the bomb itself is closer over towards A site. Play from ramp room. Xantares jumps back after getting a frag. And up the ladder, Smooya goes. So it's just 1 fallen down so far for North. Still the potential to make a play depending on how they read this defense.
It seems so far a lot of the opening picks have been going the way of Big, though. That's something they've been so successful in. And in fact, there hasn't been a single opening duel actually won by the side of North. Once again, it just seems to be dwindling as they get picked apart by Big. And it almost seems like the last round might have just been a bit of a blip on the radar for Big, as it's just gone back to more of the same. Again, not even a point of damage done to any of the players in the duels they've been taking. It seems like trading from North is just non-existent, and they're now just going to try and hold. Decent position from Gade at least. Misses the initial bullets, but will get the kill. And with 20 seconds left, this looks like they've already fallen into the save. This is just an attempt to hold on to their weaponry. Sure, they've managed to get 2 kills, but the bomb's still firmly defended by Big and the remaining CT players.
We talked about how North need to switch it up, and yeah, when they went a bit more aggressively and fast-paced, they got the round for themselves. But if you're starting so many rounds consistently, at least 1 player down, it's difficult to...
They had a good opportunity to take him down, get another weapon, and have a chance to continue to play. This time, though, they pick up the pace a little bit. An early aggressive peek from Yugi is going to get them an opener, and they finally have the man advantage in a round, which I don't know, but that might actually be their first pick, like the first opening duel actually going their way in the whole match so far.
But what can they make of it, though? Because that's a great position to be in, but sometimes that's the mid-round where they start to slow things down a bit. And yes, that's in response to being at a deficit when facing off against Big, but still, you need to be able to execute not just in your movement, but your strat to follow. And Vivian, in this case, gets it a bit faster. KJMB's there for the answer, but nonetheless, North still have the man advantage, but tick down low on some of them. And which way are they going to commit this as the bomb moves back through Secret?
Yeah, Xantares already with a quick rotation. They should expect somebody to be down here at this point. He's got to be careful he doesn't get flanked in from both, but he gets the timing right at least. That's the first kill going his way. Now he's just watching between the 2 different positions. Try and pick off another player. He's got to be careful of Kirby, but he wins that battle as well.
It wasn't going to be that long for that rotation to happen, and Xantares, you got to give it to him for being able to hold both of those angles. In the end, he's still standing. Big are ready for the rotate. Yugi gets the pop with the op. But nonetheless, the bomb's still planted, and they're very silent and deadly from Tabson. The 1v1 ensues. Gade is on the opposite side, finishes it off, so North end up getting the round. 2 for them now.
Taken, and a good clutch in the end from Gade. I think individually he seems like a decent player. I'm just not sure.
Strong with their loadout and being able to take on North potentially. Here's the fighting going over in the lower site, angled right off the top of the stairs, and 2 have moved into the site itself on the upper level. So if North do decide to try and go for this plant, they're moving very slowly in as Gage is peeking around. Smoke here at the bottom half, but nobody's really waiting here just yet.
Looking like they're going to try and double back towards the A site. Smoothie so ready for this.
Yeah, he was just waiting saying, I know somebody's going to pop up in heaven, and I'm here to give that answer. Gade moving across the yard, but see, North, they get these rounds and they seem very convincing in the two that they have picked up, but then immediately following that, they can't really seem to be stringing any together, and then Big just run away with it completely at that point.
Yeah, I think as well, like a lot of the time they seem to some peaks of their own because they don't have the pressure of what most...
Strategy isn't a secret, but there's not much that you can really alter at that point, so you just have to fully commit to it, and that's why they're leading in with some of this utility. Tabzim gets that shot right through the smoke. Next has been positioned here for the answer, though, too. Op shot from Smooya. Bomb's been planted. And North still do have 3 available to them. So in the 3v4 scenarios, they can get set up nicely. All comes down right here is very important. Hugie with the Deagle onto Xantares. It's still a 3v2 just because some of the action on the other side, but that's going to even the odds a tad. Big 2 more standing. Kirby from the window area gets that triple sick with the Galil. And that is something to go and put a smile on your face about.
Yeah, that was a sick play coming out from Kirby, an integral round for them as well, because that was basically where if they lose this one, I think there's no coming back, because they're going to have no money. We're going to see the CT side just build their economy.
The FAMAS's M4s and then Op once more. He's looking through over here on Squeaky's side, but that doesn't connect, and Captain knows he's there, so he's just going to go ahead and return that fire into the head of Yugi.
Such a risky play from Tabzim, but he baits out the shot, finds that opening pick, gives them that man advantage once again. As said, that's been where Big really have been absolutely dominating, but a wraparound from Kirby will even things up once again. We're starting to see a few effective trades out from North, which I think has definitely been the difference maker. Of course, it would be great if they were able to start off the round with an advantage of their own, but that's been all Big's camp so far.
Even with the effective trades, though, it still seems like almost a slightly slower than they need to be in how they respond to getting those trades. Because it's great and all, hey, yeah, you kill one of ours, I kill one of yours, but now where do we go from here? And that's what I want to see, is just the reaction nature of their strategy, not necessarily a change in what they're doing in those first imminent moments.
Utility going to be expended as Kizia sprays down one, but it isn't going to be the trade. Next goes through the smoke. Again, some risks being taken by Big, but this one pays off. Gives them an advantage. Oh, it's so close to Gade going down, but he will be able to plant that bomb at least. Once again, we're going to be set up into a retake scenario. The final nade will go down for the T's, and it's up to Big to actually retake this one fairly quick. They don't have a kit.
While North still have 2 standing, Gade cannot be too aggressive in it. Maybe going to try and get something, but Xantares finds him first. So with Big, they have to be very aware of the fact that there's only one available. They can move on in onto this side, but Kirby was staking on the outside mini angle. And during that defuse, yeah, you don't got the kit. Yep, that's going to be trickling on up. Kirby, can he find it? It's the duel, it's the 1v1, and Smooya's on that op, so he just backs off to the other side. This win goes over to North, and both get to hold on to their rifles.
That is 2 rounds now that have been almost solely won by Kirby. That was he got a triple kill in a 1 versus 3 and gets 4 kills in this round to just take them over the line. Definitely showing his star power in this round, and just fairly calm in a lot of these situations as well. Like knowing that they're probably not going to be defusing the bomb, waits until the last second to peek, and Xantares at that B site. They've actually been doing quite well of getting these picks back.
Speaking of that B site, that is exactly where we will be turning our attention to in the last 30 seconds of this round. Smooya has been lying in wait for North to make their appearance on their favorite site of this entire match so far. The bomb goes down, but good on Big to not try and get too aggressive until you can maybe start to clear some of the smoke or get a better angle. So he's still sitting towards the back, seeing if anyone goes through the door, and his buddy Xantares was able to pick one up too. Kirby here in window, he had quite the round on it not that long ago. and starts to get some effect, but this is a very difficult one for him to bring back, even though he's proven to be able to do so in the past. Gets the second frag for himself, but that molly really tickles him, and with that big, get the defuse, and go ahead and close it out to make this a 9-6 half. So everybody, when we return, we will see how North are able to perform on the CT side. Yeah, if I'm big right now, I would be a little nervous considering that North have started to really warm up going into their CT side. Maybe get some of those kinks out. And their strategy started to tighten up, their reactivity, shots are landing a bit more. But Xantares has had shots go again and again as he's going to be the first one here in the pistol round. And I will say, as far as this matchup, it is the back and forth I really was hoping this would be between these two teams. Because I was rewatching their last match earlier last week just to kind of check back up on it. And it was a lot of that same, that back and forth. They
don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know it's on B. They're trying to retake the A site and the bomb is not even there. Like they've completely been bamboozled here. That was absolutely brilliant by Big. I'm sorry to cut you off, but basically what they did was they threw a lot of players initially down the ramp, so that then when we see basically the back off, all the CT players go, okay, they backed off and the bomb's gone down, so they must have planted it on A because they didn't have anyone there. But instead, they backed off, went back down the vent, and then planted it basically in their back garden on B, and just held for rotations. Really clever stuff from Big.
Starting to get some damage onto Kirby, but they do tack up a few on the side of Big in the process, finally ending the life over from Next for this.
Xantares is eventually going to get one with the Krieg, but he's taken a lot of damage. You can see it's already been joggled over to another player, so they made sure they at least have one weapon in terms of the range. Not much in terms of smokes left, so if they are going to make their way down secret, they kind of have to hope that there's nobody peeking her out from heaven. And, well, that's why Xantares took such an aggressive peek, because they didn't want to use that final smoke to get them across. The real question is, though, are they actually going to go across? Or are they going to double back with the bomb? The problem is the bomb is on the player who's already made the cross, so they're kind of dedicated at this point.
I am down for a little hot potato with that Krieg, too. See what Tabson can make happen with it. North have Cajun B set up over on the ramp site. He's ready to try and rotate in to support the bomb that is in that direction, but Tizian gets taken out in the process. Kind of floating between that entryway there. Not entirely sure where Big should just try to go ahead and commit this because they are down in manpower.
Kirby with a few missed shots is just going to have to opt to try and hold on to the position. You can see that the remaining CTs attempted to make a rotation. Only 20 seconds left, so a double back would be risky. But it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. But AZ's still here. 4 kills to his name. He needs to almost double that here, and he's not going to be able to. Tabson is going to find the pick, and the bomb is going to be planted with seconds to spare. Rotation up from Smooya as well, and we're into a 2v2.
2v2 indeed. Make that a 2v1, because Cajun B is off the table for now. With that stolen M4 that Smooya was able to get. Big get another round to bring this in for themselves. And I would be happy with that. Going in with only a single rifle into this, you're kind of thinking, hey, if we get the win, sure. If we don't, then it's not a big deal, but they do.
It's very early in the T half, but I have to say I'm impressed by whoever is mid-round calling. We are going to see outside being challenged once again. Kirby is going to be there watching. It seems like Tabson is not going to get the timing to check him. This has been the man to watch on the Danish side of things. There's no doubt about that. Looking to try and hold on to that position. A couple of flashbangs, nades being expended. Xantares now tagged down to just 30 HP. We are actually going to see the vent dive successful, but more importantly, the bomb's been dropped outside.
And it is far from any T that could possibly go to pick it up. Luckily, Xantares is able to pick up a frag in the process, but nonetheless, you're outgunned, you're outnumbered, you're far away from your actual objective. So it may be better just to see if you can get some picks here just right now as they're hanging over onto the site.
Yeah, 23 seconds left. I don't think there's really much they can do other than just hope to save their weapons. Luckily for the T side, they do actually have a big bank. So just keeping up these remaining couple of guns is going to help them going forward. The CT side have managed to get themselves around onto the board, but they're not safe just yet. 4 players surviving is decent. It means that going into the next round, you'll have the flawless buy. Also, Yugi hitting a couple of nice shots in that round is going to be important because we haven't seen too many like big confidence.
And the rest of them, you got Tizian and Xantares that have also been picking it up very effectively. Whereas for North, it's mostly been Kirby. Kirby do it for the rest of the team. Flashes onto a lot of the T's, and AZ ends up punishing him for it. Says, you're blinded, but I am not, so let me get those 3 kills. Set to the top too, tried to get the answer, but Tabson unfortunately fell to his fate, and Smooya brings us to the 1v2. Managed to take down 2 of the CT players. Maybe off this molly, he can try and create some space for himself to clear off.
Hoping that he can force someone out of an angle here, but whatever it was, it doesn't seem to work. It's just going to be the 2 players up above, and Yugi once again is going to close things out. But again, I sort of spoke about it in the last matchup where Crystal had 3 kills in the first half, manages to get 4 in 1 round. We've seen a similar thing from AZ, who really has had little to no impact. 5 kills in the first half, 4 in 1 round, and big impactful plays on the side. If he goes down without much of a fight, then this round could easily...
And as far as the pace goes, lots of utility thrown here through Spooky and some fire being had, but that's going to be the first one. Kirby really enjoying himself on the odds here. You can probably see him continue to try and follow up upon that firepower. The rest of the T's are over onto the entryway and might have to back up out of this if North don't let up on the pedal a tad. I don't think they're going to. Good security and spread. Big really have to try and maybe even just slow it down a little bit right now. The utility that they do have available, get some information over on North because they are full up and healthy.
Yeah, once again, we start to see North grinding out rounds. It's Kirby again to get the opening pick. He's been doing great work for them so far in this matchup. We'll see if he can continue it on. Yugi as well with the AWP. Not wanting to take the face into the angle of Xantares, and understandable. Doesn't want to give up that man advantage. Opts for a slightly more passive position. Tabson, in the meantime, is going to be probing on the other side of the map. He does have the bomb, so has to be a little bit careful here. And we're going to see the T's now double back and look to try and hit this A site once again.
They're going to move in, making it through Hut, but Gade is here to give them some choice words of his own. The trade is achieved by Tabson, but it's North that managed to get the round victory, bringing it into double digits, 13-10 at this point.
Behind, but on that favored side, it's going to be this attempt again just to pick up the pace. AZ is left completely blind, and Tizian will get him on the opener. Gade, though, with a great couple of spray down, leaves it all onto just Smooya. 1 versus 3, and he's not really in the action.
Blood spattered on the walls for T-side. Some action outside in the yard, but Smooya comes out on top. The 1v2 is to continue. Bomb is set inside the site itself, so Big would have to really try. Pretty difficult to make sure you get these frags before you even make a movement towards that. Cajun B and Hugie are still directly onto the site, and the op and M4 combo may be too much for Smooya to bear, especially when you take that damage from the nade. But I don't know if he's really going to try and fully commit to this.
It's a tough situation again. We've seen him already in a 1 versus 2, and Yugi just holding the angle. Misses the shot, gives him a slight opener here, but I think that was inevitable.
For either of these teams to either secure it for themselves or avoid overtime even. That's going to be the first opening frag for Gade. North, just all the way through. It's not even the fact that they've been able to pick up these rounds, but pretty convincingly in portions of them.
Yeah, you can see they've been building into this. Like as said, 7 rounds in a row now, and we did see eventually the Big make a comeback in the last half, but it's a lot more difficult to do. Kirby has just started to completely take over, 27 kills to his name. The man on the other side with 26 is Tabson, who he's now overtaken, and considering the start that he had to this match, that is an impressive turnaround. And just one by one, they're winning every single battle. The same as what we saw from Big early on. Xantares at least will put 2 back in their favor, and this should at least be an after-plant situation for Big.
Potentially. There's the plant. Trying to see if anyone's hanging on over by Heaven. North do still have 3. It's the 3v2 currently, and they're going to be rotating on in. Xantares has his eyes over in many where a lot of plays have been made by the enemy team. Cajun B picks it up onto Tabsin. And now it's all on Xantares' shoulders. Directly onto the site, finds that onto Yugi in mini. Gets another one. And the 1v1 is here. Cajun B loves this kind of firepower, but in the end, Big pick it up and put this into their pocket.
That was an ace. He killed everyone. That was Xantares killing absolutely everybody on the enemy team. And there was something mentioned on the desk, is something we've seen as well, that Xantares, we don't think he's hit the heights that we saw in Space Soldiers when he was in like a team speaking his own language, something he's had to adapt to. But these are the sort of later into the round as they're going to try and make their move, maybe even split in, but it's actually Yugi to find the pick. This round is so crucial for either side. It could potentially decide the map based off finances alone. Yugi waiting, gets his second kill of the round, and you can see the setup is there already from the CTs.
The time crunch is putting the pressure on Big to make a play, and North are fully taking advantage and punishing the rotation. Right here from Dark gets some through the Raptor, but unfortunately unable to connect for a death. Tizian is still pretty low. Kirby gets taken out by Nex. Bomb goes down. And now Big are going to try and defend this as much as possible. Cajun B eliminated at the sound of that crack through the air.
Oh my goodness, they're turning this back next. He doesn't know that there's still a second player behind him though. He's actually going to be caught reloading. That'll be the free frag, and now it's all on to the Brit to try and save them. As Smooya hits that first shot with the AWP, the cross needs to come in. He misses it, and there is actually a kit for Gade. He's just got to stick this. He's holding the bomb. Smooya needs to go. He's going to get it in the nick of time. A 15th round for Big as they get themselves onto map point.
Smooya with the booyah there to finish it off, and that was looking mighty tight for them. Whew, because it was 2v4, I think, at one point, right? So that means they came all the way back from that.
Well, that has been what's given them the 2 rounds. They're going to have to try something cheesy. They're going to have to try something aggressive. Let's be prepared for that. However, DRB, he's managed to sneak through. He's actually dropped the bomb. There's even a rifle on the other side for him to retrieve. This is worrying.
Yeah, it's a crash a bit. Kirby gets another one with that deagle shot. Eventually taken out by the op, but still a lot of value that was pulled from him. I am curious to see what Gate ends up pulling out with the XM1014 at his side. Big, it's the MAC-10 and the op versus 4 members of North here. CZ for AZ2.
Smooya, he's trying to be a little bit sneaky here, but he does have to be very, very careful. So many positions to spot. That'll be the free kill, but there may be another man behind. He has to worry about. Yugi doesn't connect, though. He misses the shot with the deagle. Looking for the peek out. Both players just unable to connect. Finally, a bullet lands onto Smooya, but he's still going to be able to get the kill. It's left all onto Tizian now. 1 versus 2. We've seen back-to-back clutch situations, back-to-back big plays. This could be the one.
Yeah, with the mullet. Tizian actually gets knocked down to 45 HP here. And the 2 CTs are directly on the opposite side. It's going to come down to timing. Can he get the peek out before somebody sees him? It's a close battle, and North pick it up. 14 for themselves.
Vent drop, attempt to get the bomb down. As they, in the meantime, it is going to be the snap back. As they do make the rotation, Smooth's going to get the opener as well. There's only going to be 1 man defending on the actual site. A lot of this comes down to Cajun B once again.
Run it in, baby. Run it in. And you saw that AZ tried to get something through the smoke, but you don't hear that connect. You have to back off. Cajun B picks one up directly onto the site from Lurking T that wanted to make their way in. And now the rest of Big, they're trying to get some kind of opening before they move in. Xantares picks it up onto Cajun B. And with a slight clear out onto that site, it's going to be up to Yugi to rotate in with the FAMAS to try and keep them on their toes. Bomb has been planted. This is map point for Big right now. If they can finish this off, they take it away and secure their spot into Sunday's matches. But it's North still standing strong with 3 members for themselves and some utility to boot. But tick-tock goes the clock. Hugie moves on in. AZ gets answered after taking down Xantares, and it's Nex that's left in this clutch situation. It's difficult to pull off. He does get some firepower on, but it's not enough. The headshot from that range with the XM1014, and North put this into their pocket, and it is into overtime, baby.
But Ruse as ramp is where the challenge truly looks to come in. Cajun again, we're going to see the same sort of thing. Just backs off, doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to give them the pick, just take control. You can see the level of experience that is there with him as well, and just repositions into another angle where, again, if he needs to, he can fall back.
Definitely a fan of that position. And it worked out for him right off the top, but two CTs end up going down in the process. Big now outnumber their opposition, and they move this bomb into the site, get it planted. There's a dually in the corridor, and AZ walks away nice and clean. Kirby knows that Nex is there, so he's just moving slowly.
He's in a tough situation now, though. Xantares already gets one, but Nex actually walks back into his crosshair. The peak going to be coming out from Xantares, and he's just about going to win it. Again, this man comes up in clutch situations, and Big are just about going to steal away that first.
But now everyone has really been contributing to the scoreboard. And seeing what can be made here in the second round of overtime. Big pulled ahead after that last round.
Oh, timing on the flashbang's good. Yugi also going to be able to get that first shot, and the smoke going down afterwards means that the T's might just have to fall back and take a new position on this round. Way too much of a risk to try and just force their way through, and now again it's going to fall onto the shoulders of Tabson to make a decision of what they're actually going to do in this late round scenario.
One of the young gun IGLs out there, Kirby, he's been really enjoying that AUG, I must say, here on the CT side. Definitely favorable for him. Goes through the smoke. Off of that flash too, gets it onto Smooya, and now Big are getting picked off one by one, and now it's just Nex and Xantares. Still walking with the bomb, haven't made a play in that way yet. 55 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, this is looking like a scoreline equalization if ever I've seen one. Of course, the T's with pretty much unlimited money going into the next round anyway, so of course we're going to see them go for something here. I feel like that Kirby second kill as well, that was just a stray bullet that hit the headshot. You have to feel really hard done by if you're the man to go down to that sort of play. Cajun be a little bit more suspect as to whether or not they'll actually go towards B this time, so just goes for a little bit of a fadeaway, still listening to see if he can hear all the footsteps, and while Yugi, the timing is absolutely perfect. Doesn't particularly matter that he goes down because this round should now be in the bag. Next, not having the best of performances, and also 4 players to find, and only 10 seconds on the clock.
Wanted to peek over by window, make sure no one's hanging there, but it's actually done that someone is. So North, they do get the equalizer.
Done in regulation. Tabson hovers in the crosshair of Kirby, not knowing. And of course, will go down because of it. Kirby seems to know something. He's spotting the feet as they go past, and even gets one through the wall in the end. A 2-man advantage for the CT side. And while Xantares desperately trying to find some sort of trade.
Kirby has been so reliable for his team. It's not just about being able to connect, but the consistency with which he has been able to bring this through, especially considering the struggle once you lose out on that opening frag. But all the CTs that are up are still just hanging over here on the A site, and there's another one through Squeaky Tizian, try to make his way through. Next with a follow-up to move into the site, but that's going to be the answer. Xantares can go ahead and get the plant over here on B for at least some of that cash in his pocket, but defending this will be quite a tricky matter.
Yeah, the timing from Cajun B utterly perfect, and well, there isn't going to be another quad kill coming in for Xantares. He's had some pretty big plays, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, they moved next. Xantares and Smooya up the vent. There's an opening. Kirby gets another one onto Smooya, this time with the SG. Another fire down. Cajun B picking one up, and here they go. They're starting to move into this, really punishing the rotations over on Big side. So it's Tabson and Xantares that are moving down. He moves down the ladder, but ends up getting shot out. So Hughie picks up 2 for himself, and North 18-16. Decided to do here at the top of the rounds. Made it seem like they were going for the faster play, but instead slowing it down a tad. It's just Tabson here. But the T's are actually going to back up off of that. CTs are down 1 player, but so much fire onto AZ and Hughie on the opposite side.
It's the same again. they've done the same thing. They rotated 3 players initially over onto the B site. So once more, this map controller's just gone the way of North. They've been able to completely force rotations from Big, and Tizian is not aware that they could have done this. Kiabi again is going to get a double kill out of absolutely nowhere, and Big have just been thwarted on this CT side by the same play twice in a row. It's the same scenario for Tapson, and it is not going to happen. North, a great T side in overtime, completely bamboozling their opposition 2 rounds in a row. And, well, Big, you have to feel like they let that one slip.
2 rounds ended up working out for the victorious team, then that is something that you have to look at the opposition, saying we let that go through. And the first half performance was just so...
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're